What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. Today we're going to be breaking down the 5 best wide receiver route running moves that you guys can use to create some separation. So we're going to be talking about a hesitation move and how you guys can win on any single route with a hesitation move, how you guys can use a shoulder reduce technique, and then we're going to be talking about how you guys can just create basic moves off the line of scrimmage that build off of each other and how you guys can use a rocker step at the top of the route to get open. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Let's get started with this very first move here from Davante Adams. We're going to be talking about this hesitation skip. So anytime that I got a DB who's in off coverage like so, I can attack his leverage, I could square him up, I can do a couple different things depending on his leverage, right? So the first best move that I feel is changing tempo on a DB, okay? So that's exactly what Adams does all the time. So you see when he comes up, he changes the tempo, then bursts up vertical. And now the reason why he's so dangerous with this tempo change that a lot of people don't understand is that he makes all of his routes build off of each other. How many times have we seen Adams go up to a DB, kind of slow his pace down like so, then hit him with a 1-2 and run a slant, get that DB to jump, and we got him on that. As a wide receiver, you have to make yourself unpredictable. There's so many good DBs out there that study film. DBs talk a lot about film study. How do they know routes are coming? How do they know double moves are coming? It comes through film study. They understand the formation. They understand what that receiver likes to do, what his tendencies are, what kind of releases he likes to come out with, what kind of moves does he like to use. So as a wide receiver, if I make all of my routes build off of each other and I make all of the moves that I choose build off of each other, that can make me unpredictable. And that's not going to allow a DB to get a read on me, right? So that's exactly what Adams does right here. This little tempo change builds. You got to understand that we want to make this look exactly like his slant route. When you guys have a slant route and you're facing this coverage, or maybe it's like a 5-yard under route, whatever it is, I'd want to come out with the same thing. I'd come out with the same tempo. We get that DB to kind of settle his feet, jump to the outside. I sell with a move to the outside and I run a slant. And it could go both ways. Maybe I hit him with the fade once, then maybe I do the same tempo again, and then I hit him with a slant. They both build off of each other, but you got to make it look the same. So number one, best move to use when it comes to route running is changing up that tempo, or just simpler terms, making your route look the exact same. Because when we get this little hesitation skip right here, and I could get that DB's feet to stop, he wants to sit on the slant. He doesn't want to get beat on the slant again. That opens up a ton of space for me to the outside. I go from 0 to 100, 0 to 100, and I burst up to the outside. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Now, after we show this thing full speed, then we're going to be talking about what you guys can do to make sure that you restack every single time that you're going against press coverage. Let's watch the thing full speed. Great job changing the tempo, bursting to the outside, swatting those hands, and then giving Aaron Rodgers plenty of space to fade him outside. But before we get into that restack video, I want to talk to you guys about our 9-city, 8 different state camp, wide receiver training camp tour this offseason. Okay, so if you guys have not heard, we're going to be coming out to Tampa, Florida, Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California for a 2-day quarterback and wide receiver training camp in each one of those cities below. So if you guys are local there, you want to come out and get some work in with myself, I will be there working with wide receivers and quarterbacks and the other Division I level coaches that I'm going to be bringing out. We're going to get some college athletes out to some of the locations yet. Nothing's official as far as coaches go because we still have a little bit of ways away, but spots are limited and spots are filling up. We're only limiting the spots to about 50 people, 10 to 12 people per position group. Reason why we're doing that is so we can actually coach you guys and not just run you through the drills and run you through a workout. We're there to help you guys get better. We're there to help your skills and actually teach rather than just run you through and show you drills. So if you guys want more information on our camps, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. So now, first things first here, anytime that we restack, we want to use a shoulder reduce technique. So what is a shoulder reduce technique and why is that the second best route running move that you guys can use? Just watch the thing full speed. So we're going to hit him with this wide step release and we have to run a post. Now, this DB is outside shade. Why is he outside shade? Before we play the video, we got to understand this. Why is he outside shade? He's outside shade because he's trying to force us where? He wants to force us inside. That means what? He's got help over there. So we got to make sure that I restack to get over the top so I don't just run right into the help and I'm covered and he's on my hip and then this safety's right here, you're going to play the post. We got to make sure that we give my quarterback as much space as possible to give me a good shot. Let's watch the thing full speed. So again, what does he do? Dips that shoulder. Let's get back over the top so I create some space. And that wasn't even the best move. Imagine if he had a good move at the top of the route. Imagine if he actually sold it with the head fake. He just kind of rounded it. But simply because he restacked, that got him plenty of space. So that's what I want to talk about. And how we got there is that shoulder reduce. So anytime that we do this, receivers are always tempted off the line when they got to get up into the stem to run nice and tall, especially you bigger guys. And I understand it. You're a bigger dude. The shorter slots, or it's easier for them to restack and get tight around that DB's hip. But as a bigger wide receiver, just a normal wide receiver, we got to make sure that my pad level stays low because I want to be tight around this thing. Something that you can do, something that my receivers do, is I'll set up cones in the pattern of like the letter C. You see that C pattern? And we do a release move, whether it's a double up, a wide step, and we have to get tight around those cones to get back over the top. That's something you guys can do. That's something that can actually translate to on-field play because you see now What does he do off of this? He dips that shoulder. You see how he dips that shoulder down? That's how he gets that good pad level. He's able to make a tighter break. He's able to actually restack, get over the defender, and then make this break. That's a great overall route here by this wide receiver. So second best move to get you separation as a wide receiver, make sure we do that shoulder reduced technique anytime that we are trying to restack a DB or a linebacker, whoever's playing us in man coverage. Just watch the thing again, full speed. Great job attacking him outside, dipping the shoulder to get back over the top, and then obviously widening himself from that safety so he doesn't get cracked even more than he already does. Okay, so now, third best move that we can use as a wide receiver is attacking outside the DB's frame. Now, again, I know that's not a move, but there are so many different ways to do it. I'd be lying to you if I said that this is the best move. This is the only move that you're going to use on this route, because there's a million different moves that you can use, fellas. You can get so creative off the line as long as you're keeping timing with your quarterback, as long as you're not screwing up the timing of the play. But there's so many different moves that you guys can use. There's so many different things you can use that can work for a lot of different situations. So that's why we're just highlighting this specific skill and technique, and that's stepping outside the DB's frame. So what do I mean by that? I mean, when you work a release, you want to operate out here. You don't want to operate inside of his frame, because guess what this DB's taught to do? Watch your hips, stay disciplined, and stay in your shuffle. He's just going to mirror you. They call it a mirror technique, right? He's going to call it, that's all he's doing, right? That's his goal. So when I come out and I actually threaten him outside of his frame, that's what's going to get him to move, because nothing about your release shouldn't say fade. Everything about your release should say fade, outside release, trying to work him off when we are trying to take the inside release, and obviously when it's an outside release, the opposite. So let's watch it full speed. I know I'm talking a little bit. Great job working outside the frame, getting the DB off the platform, and then you see, sets him up on that whip route nice and easy right there, right? So let's talk about it. So you see his first step, it's like a wide step, right? Steps wide. Where does he actually step? Outside the frame of the DB. He brings his hip with him as well. So many receivers, what they'll do is they'll step outside the DB's frame, but they don't bring that upper body. So they're like, let's say this number 5, then number 5 would be over here, and he'd be stepping way out here. You're either going to slip or you're not going to have any explosion back to the inside. We got to make sure that I'm bringing my upper half, because that DB's watching the upper half anyways. Not that it's just going to give me more balance. It's going to actually sell the route, because this actually looks like he's going outside. He's actually bringing his body with that foot to the outside. That's how we have to understand things as a wide receiver. I got to make sure that I'm selling. I'm operating in this far left lane. The DB's in the middle lane. I want to threaten him to the left lane to get him off. And again, he hits him with the kind of this like wide step, double tap to the outside. And again, you see what that DB does. That's how we move him off the platform. So if you want to move the DB off the platform, off the line of scrimmage against press coverage, actually threaten him outside, of his frame to work him off that platform. So the third best move that you can use when it comes to route running is actually attacking outside that DB's frame. Let's watch it again, full speed. Great job stepping wide, hitting him with that double tap, getting him to commit on the slant because he knows he got beat inside, and then winning this route. Okay, so now, fourth best move to use as a wide receiver at the top of the route. We got to use that rocker step, okay? It's got to be able to build off of different routes that we run. So Cooper Kupp is one of the best in the league at using that rocker step. So fourth best move is that rocker step. Let's watch it again, full speed. Great job by Kupp. He's running a 10-yard out. He hits him with that 1-2, and then he's able to create space and able to get to the sideline, right? Maybe he could have scored in this case. I know that's what everybody's going to say, but again, overall great route on this thing. So let's talk about it, right? So I have an outside shade DB. Outside shade DB have to run an outside breaking route. Where do we think we want to threaten him to be able to run this outside breaking route? I want to threaten him inside, right? So this rocker step is a great move to actually do that. There's a couple different ways you could attack this route. And it kind of depends on where the DB's lined up, right? DB's lined up about what? Maybe 8 yards off, I'd say. Yeah, 7 to 8 yards off, and I got to go run this 10-yard out, and he's in a pedal like so. There's a couple ways I could approach it. I could either attack that inside shoulder super hard and try to get him to open up his hips like so, and then I slip back underneath, or I could threaten him on a post route, and that's exactly what Cooper Kupp does. So you see how he hits that first move to the outside. On a rocker step, you want to step to where you're going first. It's like a 1-2. It's a double move, so you want to hit him with that first step in the direction you're going, and then the second step to the inside, right? So he hits him with that just quick 1-2. And when you throw to the inside like this, you throw your hip, you actually step, you bring your upper body. That's what gets that DB to sit. So when he's outside shade and you have an outside breaking route, you got to make sure that we threaten him inside. And a rocker step is a great way to do that. You can use that rocker step in any situation though. If you have to run an outside breaking route, and let's say the DB's inside shade, maybe you attack his leverage, then you hit him with that 1-2. So you would step out, then back in to threaten him to the post, get him off that leverage, and then you get space. Or maybe maybe this DB's head up and you go straight at him. You try to step on those toes and you hit him with the 1-2. A rocker step is something that you could use on any route that's like intermediate to deep that involves a speed cut. So I'm talking digs, out routes, posts, corners. That's when I like that rocker step the absolute best. Let's watch the thing again, full speed. So fourth best route running move that wide receivers can use is that rocker step. Play at full speed. Great job hitting him with that 1-2, getting that DB off the platform, and then accelerating out of that route. Great job there by Cooper Kupp. Okay, so now, fifth best release that I like to use, especially on quick routes like a 5-yard out route or a slant route, it's going to be the same thing but opposite when I talk about this, is they dive or diamond release. Okay, so let's watch this full speed. So this receiver is going with a dive release. So a dive release is really building off of like a drag or a quick slant or a quick under route, whatever it is. Because what a dive release is exactly how it sounds. You're just diving to the inside. I'm diving across this DB space. I'm trying to get him to overcommit on this thing, and then I'm slipping back to the outside. So when I do that, I got to make sure that I have speed. I got to make sure that I'm in stride, and I got to make sure I'm selling the route. Now, before I show this thing, the opposite of it would be a diamond release. So when you guys are doing a quick route, like a 5-yard out, quick slant, and it's quick game footwork, what do I mean by that? I mean that the quarterback's just catching the ball and throwing. You got to understand that you got to have something quick in your arsenal to use. As a wide receiver, I don't want to just have one release for every single route. I want to have multiple releases for multiple routes, for multiple timings of my playbook. But again, you don't want to have too many to where you're confusing yourself out there. You want to have about 3 to 5 that you can use in any given situation, right? So if you got to run a quick 5-yard out, a dive release is a great is a great route to work, right? If you got to run a quick slant, a diamond release, which is the opposite, where you would go to the outside and break back to the inside, kind of like on a diamond pattern, right? Like a diamond pattern, you're here, like kind of making a diamond, right? So you would go to the outside, you essentially dive to the outside, getting that DB to overcommit, then you'd run a slant. So those are 2 releases that you can use when you have those quick game routes. Now, when do you want to use the longer developing releases? That's when it's drop back pass footwork for the quarterback. So let's say you're running this 5-yard out, but let's say the quarterback is reading like a dig and like a seam. So maybe he's looking at this safety, seeing the safety run, then he looks to the dig's taken, then he's coming back down to this 5-yard out. That's when you'd want to be a little bit more patient. Or maybe it's like an RPO. Quarterback's doing a little RPO action. We don't want to get out of this route too quick because then that screws up the whole entire timing of the run pass option. You got to be a little bit more patient. So make sure that we know when to use this dive release. The technique behind it is you got to make sure, like I said, commit the shoulders and hips. That's what the DB's watching. I got to be in full stride. That's what gets him to run. And then that can create me a ton of space to where I could operate to the outside and pretty much do whatever I want. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job diving inside, getting that DB off the platform, and then accelerating out of this route. Great route. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope this video helped you guys out. Hope it taught you some new techniques that you guys can use and why and how to use those techniques in an actual game situation. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. And we are coming to, again, 8 different states, 9 different cities this offseason. If you guys are interested in getting some work in with us, if you're a quarterback or wide receiver, want to come out, get 8 hours of training broken into 2 days, where we break down all the specifics that we teach. We'd really love to help you guys out, really help your game develop. So check out that very first link in the description below. If you're local to any one of those cities or want to make the trip out, we would definitely appreciate it and definitely looking forward to working with all of you. I'll see you guys next time.